right. Hey, everybody. Tacoma Comics here, coming to you on a Wednesday evening, a really disgustingly hot Wednesday evening in Tacoma. It's still like 90 degrees out at 9:04. Maybe it's like 85, but it's remind me of New York where I came from to get away from this sort of weather. Anyway, if you were around, I was live before. I had a bunch of people in there hanging out, and I was pretty excited to hang out with the people. And then my wife gave me a video chat. She's like, I just got out of the shower. The food's going to be ready in 20 minutes. You go get it. And I'm like, we're not going out till 5:30. She's like, yeah, I called and ordered, and they're like, it'll be ready at 4:30 because this place is usually swamped, and it wasn't swamped. So I started a live earlier. Not going to be able to go through. I wasn't able to go through that live. Now it's 9 o'clock. Wife and kids are upstairs in the AC. Dog's on the floor behind me, and I'm right here. So I'm risking it and trying to do it again, and hopefully I will get away with it this time. So I've got some comics to show, some bagging and boarding to do, and I will be right back after this. Hey, Tony, I am keeping cool. We actually went out to Beer Star underneath the tent, and it wasn't too bad. We liked the picnic tables because we ordered a lot of food from Tacoma Szechuan and we hung out there, but we actually went around the side of the building, and it was totally blocked off from the sun. It was actually shadier there and cooler there. It's still pretty sweaty and nasty, but we're doing okay. AC doesn't really reach around to this room. But this room is also pretty cool because the sun only hits the side, doesn't get there in the morning, and it hits this side only for like an hour in the evening. So I'm doing good. Went to a bunch of places you'll be familiar with. Started my trip today at half price and got absolutely nothing. Half price books, just they hadn't stocked anything since the last time I was there, which honestly was like Monday or Tuesday. So we won't talk about that. Then I went over to Lily Pad Antiques, and he had a few books out. I'm collecting a Superior Spider-Man run, so I grabbed that. He had this Ultimate Spider-Woman, first appearance of Ultimate Spider-Woman. The title is Ultimate Spider-Man. First appearance of Ultimate Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew. Had that for $5, and then this is Superior Spider-Man Annual 2. Then he goes, hey, have you looked around in this bin yet? And he brought out a bin of like old stuff, kind of musty comics, a lot of Brave and the Bold, Marvel collector item classics, and it's stuff like that. I hear you, Tony. I've been seeing the stuff you post. It's really, really nice, the restorations you do. So I started looking through this bin, and I came across this Fantastic Four 47. And I mean, it is in crap condition if you look at all that, like the spine's beat up. So I figured it's like a 1-0. Then I was going to offer him $10 for it, right? And he's usually pretty reasonable. Then I looked more closely and see if you can see what's going on here. Right by Sue Storm's head. And then in the middle. And then down there at the bottom. Now, I actually love this. This means that some kid back in like 1964, 65, maybe I'll issue 47, probably 68, grabbed this comic, hole punched it, and put it in their binder, took it to school, or stored it in their bedroom. But I love that. Anyway, that is the first appearance of Maximus, brother of Black Bolt, second appearance of Black Bolt in like a 0.5 condition, but I don't care. Got it. So that was Lily Pad. Then I went over to Destiny. They were holding some books for me. Talked to Ethan. I'm like, hey, man, I was supposed to pick them up last week after I got back from vacation. Can I get them on Sunday or Monday when I get paid? Teachers in Tacoma get paid on the 20th and the 5th, and we're just trying to save money until the 20th. And he's like, yep, no problem. So I looked at the books he had, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take them all. Great, good. No problem. So I'll go back there this weekend and grab those. And then I went over to Destiny City and I got one of their packages, and it was probably a mistake. I saw one book on top. I'm trying to find the book I saw on top. There it is. I saw this book on top, and it's like, oh, maybe they got the whole set of the Pizza Hut collector issues, because I think I have a whole set, but I thought it'd be really cool to get a second set. So I'm like, all right, $13 for this pack. Couldn't really see much except for that and that. And I was like, whatever, I give it a shot. Well, it was a waste. Astonishing X-Men #1 from this volume that nobody knows about. Bunch of Exiles, which I'd love to get into, but they went for like 100 and something issues, and I don't really have a frame of reference. I read the recent Exiles that came out like, I don't know, 5 years ago. But this one is pure like late 90s, and they look cool. And I like Blink as a character, but I really don't know enough about Exiles to like know what's good or what's not, or how to get started on something that ran for like 100 and something issues. It's out of my world, my collecting world. So here is Starjammers issue 1, 2, and 3. Again, nothing big. 90s foil reflectiveness. Starjammers. Great. Some more Exiles. Nice cover on Son of M. Psylocke Archangel. Crimson Dawn, issue number 3. Crimson Dawn, issue number 2. Imperial Guard. So these are all X related, but nothing special. The Noseless Morph. Very cool. Yeah, I didn't know much about Exiles, and again, I like Blink, and I like the later Exiles 12 issues series I read, and I'd like to get into it, but I'm not going to be able to put together a run by like collecting random comics. X-Men 340, I'm pretty sure I have that one. X-Men 336, I'm less sure that I have that one, so that might be one to finish off my like 3 to 400. Imperial Guard #3, again, something I know nothing about. And then still poly badge, pretty cool. So that's the only thing there that was worth anything. Otherwise, it was kind of a waste. Most of those will go back to Comics for Kids or to the classroom or something. But the next thing that I got, I was really excited about from Trickies. This is really cool. This is still sealed. A Marvel's Greatest Collector Pack of the Gambit series. So this, like, after the whole series came out and they had extras, they just put these onto the racks and let people put all 4 together, wrapped it in cellophane, saran wrap, whatever you want to call it, and it is still like that today. Just a little break there where they hung it. Otherwise, it's completely wrapped. Gambit 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm pretty happy with that. That's really cool. I love getting stuff like that. After a couple of years, I look at it and say, I don't want that anymore. But when I first get it, I love getting stuff like that. So there you go. Next, I left Trickies and I went over to my LCS Stargazer. And I didn't have a lot of books on my pull this week, which was kind of interesting. But they still had this copy. There's a little bit of color rub on it. But I regretted not getting that last week because I'm getting most of the Clone Wars homage books. Right, so there's just right there. It's actually printing error. It's technically not color rubbed. It's not like somebody rubbed it off. It's just it just printed like that. But I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool OB stance. I dug that. I read the Dark Droids intro last week. So this week there I got the new Darth Vader, which is a tie-in to Dark Droids. Issue 37, have not read that. I kind of like that the first 2 runs on Vader went to 25 issues. That was like a really nice, manageable chunk. Kieran Gillen's great run, and then Charles Soule's great run. And now this one is kind of like crossing over with the War of the Bounty Hunters, crossing over the Crimson Dawn, crossing over with all these other larger storylines, and now the Dark Droid storyline. Hey, Hoarders, how you doing? How is I believe, are you in Gig Harbor, or am I thinking of something else? I'm thinking of book something. Never mind. I think I'm wrong. But anyway, this Darth Vader, I mean, it's still written well. Greg Pak writes well, but it kind of is a little bit all over the place. It's not as concise as the first 2 volumes. This I'm excited about. Void Rivals, number 3. So far, the first 2 issues have been really solid. So I'm very excited to read issue 3. And then I got this book called Cull. I don't remember. I think what I do is I use Comic Hub to order my books. If you're not familiar with Comic Hub, get your LCS to get Comic Hub. Comic Hub is amazing. What it does is it allows you to, I go online and I look at the final order cutoff books. I can order anything I want. If there's any ratio books I want, I can order them. My LCS will then send me a message like, hey, Ian, man, we can't get that. Sorry. We're not going to order 25 issues of that random book, number 42. Or, yep, we'll order that for you, no problem. So it's a really nice way to connect with my LCS, make sure I get the books that I want. You can get recurring books or just one-shots, whatever you want. And so I think each month when I look at my books and I order, I try to find a new indie series to try out. So I bent this a little bit because I fell in the back of my car. I will read this. I think I got this because Kelly Thompson is the writer, and I thought the run she did on Captain Marvel was freaking amazing. So I will try it out. I don't know Mattia de Ulis, Iulis. I don't know who that is as far as an artist. Hassan Otsman El Hau, Haou, has done lettering on other things that I've read, so I kind of dig that. But I don't know this Mattia de Ulis. I'm going to say Ulis until I find some different spelling. And even the variant I got like the B cover and the E cover. My LCS manager said this would be the E cover. Was by an artist I don't know. So I'm not really sure why I got that. Sometimes I get things and I'm not quite sure why I got them, and that's okay. That's just the way life is. Don't let it bother you. Take a little sip here. This is, by the way, Kentucky Mule. The ice is melted. That's how warm it is in the house. Ginger beer, fresh lime, and ginger beer, fresh lime, and bourbon. Basil Hayden's? Yeah, Basil Hayden's bourbon. Sounds similar to the on. Oh, I forgot I could do this with messages. I'm not used to going live anymore. My lives don't get found and watched unless people are watching them live. They don't go in your video category on YouTube. They go into a live category, and they don't get like posted into people's feeds, especially since I have 640 subscribers. I don't have like over 1,000. Anyway, yeah, it is very similar to an online-based subscription service. I don't know if this is the same exact one. I will go share it with you now. ComicHub.com. Customer login. Let me show you all what I'm doing. Present, right? Share screen. Share that screen and share. Customer login. So yeah, I read about this company when they first started, and I was pretty excited to check it out, and then find out that my LCS actually used them was great. So messages right now, these are all the messages going back and forth between my LCS and me, right? The last one, hey, unfortunately, we didn't order enough to qualify for the Vader number 37, 1 in 25. We should be good on the Usagi 1 in 10. So now I know I got to hit eBay to look for this number 37, 1 in 25. Right? And going back, oops, I don't know what I clicked. Yeah, going back through this, I can see all my previous messages. and most of them are them telling me that they can't order what I want. But the great thing I like is search um, creator. So like I'll look for Hans, see if Stephanie Hans has anything new coming out. And I do this pretty much every Friday, like Friday night. And I've already ordered, I think I already have the Demon Wars, or I've already ordered it. And this is Hansel and Gretel, and this is Hansel and Gretel. So obviously I don't need those. This, he still hasn't told me if he can get this. Probably not going to get 25 issues of number 7 for me to get this one, but we'll see. And then there's this Hans Vogel is dead. So obviously that's not Stephanie Hans. Right. The other artist that I'm really into right now is EM Gist. And so all I do is click it. I can pay online, or I can pay when I go to my LCS on Wednesday. And let's see, search coming soon. So Star Wars 26, that's not a very good cover, so I don't like that one. But I don't have enough money to get, let me do the view all, to just get all of his stuff, even though he's becoming one of my new favorites. So I'm just getting his Star Wars stuff, which is pretty phenomenal anyway. And this search is going slow. All I did was click view all. There we go. So this Star Wars 38 I have on order, this Commander Cody, which is beautiful. I'm not getting the 1 in 25 second print, but I do have this Clone Wars. See, these little grayed out things means I've ordered them. This Dark Droids, this one right here, Padme. I think this Ahsoka one. Okay, so this Ahsoka one, the trade dress is one price, and then I guess it's supposed to be Virgin variant, even though they don't show the Virgin variant art. That's the second price. Oops, and now it just switched. I don't know. I must have clicked on it by accident. So anyway, that's her owl, just beautiful. So it just becomes really nice and easy to be able to order from here. I think this was no Obi-Wan 2. This is the incentive. I think I ordered this from a shop because they said they wouldn't be able to get that one. All right. So anyway, and then I can just search coming soon. I don't see it on favorite genre. I don't see, oh, coming soon. Okay. So I could do by brand, which would be comics, hit coming soon, and then hit comics, and then I can go through all the comics that are coming out this week or in the next 4 or 5 weeks, and I would narrow this down by clicking some of these filters, but it basically shows you everything that's coming out. Art of Jedi Survivor hardcover. Yeah, see, what I do is I click comics only, so I don't even look at the hardcovers. Otherwise, I'll go broke, and that would not be good. Anyway, I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's a great service. I highly suggest. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm scrolling through. Oh, no. I hope I didn't lose everybody. Yeah, the messaging is nice. Thanks for letting me know that. Unfortunately, when I'm on the other page, I didn't see your message, Tony. I hope you guys weren't going through I feel like I'm back in school. School doesn't start for 2 weeks. I feel like I'm in school and I'm sitting there talking, thinking that the screen over there is showing what my computer over here is showing. I'm like, you see this page, it shows you how to do this. And the kids are like, we don't see that. So cheers to y'all. I'll move forward. Another book that I got was, I ordered this in the mail on the off chance that Barriss Offee is going to appear in the Ahsoka series. And I think it's an off chance because I think we would have seen her already in the in the trailers. In the Clone Wars, she was a very big part of Ahsoka's story. They did a two episode arc where they were basically alone on Geonosis, and they had to fight their way out of the catacombs and the tunnels. And Barriss Offee was very much like Luminari Undula, who is her master, very straightforward, very by the book, very do not worry. This is the Jedi way. And then a few seasons later, we find out that Barasafi actually destroyed the Jedi Temple and tried to pin the blame on Ahsoka because she thought the Jedi had gone astray and lost their way that she had followed so straight and narrow. And she becomes kind of an evil person who gets a little bit of redemption later on. But I thought she has not officially died. In canon, she is still alive. I thought that she would be a great foil for Ahsoka. It looks like they're going towards these new guys who are not Sith, they're not Inquisitors, but they're bad or evil Jedi users or light side Force users. I'm really excited to see who they are. I'm excited for the Ahsoka show. Right, let me just putting that out there. I'm excited for the Ahsoka show in 1 week. But I'm really excited for this. I got it for like $20 or something. It's got one tick on that I could see somewhere. It's got a few like super minor ones. Right after this, though, a 9.6 I think sold for $30 and only $7 shipping. So keep that in mind. Do not always jump at the first one that comes out because you never know what you're going to get and what you can get. I agree, Tony. As a matter of fact, I'm going to highlight that comment. So, shit, my dog is like, I can't back up because my dog is right there. All right. Nothing too exciting here unless you all like comic books. I'm going to be doing some bagging and boarding because I just got my boards. So I like to support LCSs, so I usually buy my boards from Stargazer, but my bags, I go to Comic Clear. Rob, Not Near Mint, and Lady Fantastic turned me on to these. The price is great. They're super cheap, and they feel and look like Mylar without having the expensive Mylar. So I'm super excited for that. Let's see what we got here. Take a little Dark Droids action. What's up, Nathaniel? Everything going okay? Your son just listens to his phone and doesn't even notice you're talking to him. All right, put that in wrong. So we got Dark Droids. This is a pretty good, this is like the droids are taking over sort of storyline. Some droid becomes self-aware, realizes they're being taken advantage of, does not appreciate it, and so starts a little revolution that's now reaching out to more than one ship. And this, here's the JTC, I think it's JTC, action figure cover. And now people are realizing, oh, there's a problem. The droids are taking over, and that's not cool. So we'll see if it comes to any fruition or where it goes. My guess is somebody gets a handle on it and everything becomes kosher again. My only thought is that what might happen is it might cause good guys. Hey, Nathaniel, everything good? All right, just checking. Might cause like good guys and bad guys to have to work together to defeat the droids. That might be a cool storyline. Anyway, the opening issue is pretty good. What do we got here? We've got a little hyperspace stories. These are the Dark Horse back on Star Wars after 30 years. This is a little Boba Fett and Wookiee issue. It was fun. I mean, these are for kids. I'm a kid at heart, and I like Star Wars. So, and that's just the way it is. I'm reading it, and I will read them until the end because ain't nobody going to stop me. Dog just left, so I can move my chair back now. Ooh, I got an email from school at 11 o'clock. Who is sending? If you're a teacher and you are on Instagram or TikTok, I assume you've started to see reels complaining about teachers having to go through mandatory training. And I'm sure other people do, like, this is the safe schools training. Do not touch students. This is, how to deal with students with asthma, how to deal with students with this and that. And it's all important, but it's stuff we know. I know not to touch students inappropriately. I would never do that. I don't need to be reminded of it. However, this school district, in order to maintain its insurance and its CYA, has to make you do this and watch these boring ass videos every single year. So I just got my email telling me to do that. What do we got right here? Star Trek Defiant. I'm not going to bag and board that because that's issue 6, which means there should be an issue 5 back there that is waiting for a bag and board. You might notice that I double bag and board my comics. Some people do not like that. I do it to save money, save space. I do it so that you don't get all of the comics lining up and sort of the spines all lining up in a line so that they start to push out against each other. But honestly, I haven't counted in a while. I probably have, like, let's say 4,000 comics. It might be 3,000. Let's not exaggerate too much. Let's say I got 3,000 comics. If I double bag and board them, that's 1,500 bags and boards, right? If I single bag and board them, that's another 1,500 bags and boards I have to have. That's a lot, my friends. Oh, my Lord. What a great issue. So I like the Hellfire Gala. I will not give any spoilers, but something happened in the Hellfire Gala recently. It was not good news for mutants. And now there's a Fall of X storyline that it's kind of everywhere. And I was complaining in my LCS that I just need to wait for, like, the graphic novel, trade paperback, or whatever, because I don't feel like buying Astonishing Iceman #1 and Alpha Flight #37. And, like, I just can't follow all these X stories. But getting this is X-Men 25. This issue, it hits you in the gut if you're a Kitty Pryde fan. If you grew up with her like I did in the 80s, this issue definitely gets you. This was a good read. New Rick Remender, Sacrificers. White doesn't, there you go. Sacrificers by Rick Remender. Is it Max Fiumura, who I know? He's on art. Dave McCraig is the colorist. Russ Wooten is the letterer. Without being a copy or a cop out, it has vibes of 7. Oh my God, I just forgot the name of the last book that he wrote that was so good. It's not Seventh Son. My mind's blanking. Anyway, it's Rick Remender. He can write the heck out of a book. This one is no different. Really, really good. Really excited to continue that. That's Sacrificers #1, issue cover A. Also, Tacoma Comics is most definitely a resealable bag guy. A piece of tape will never touch my bags and boards. I just don't believe in that. I think it is problematic. There's Yoda 10, which means that there should already be a bag and board on Yoda #9, so I will not bag and board that. Here's the A cover of Dark Droids, so I might have to put that in a separate one, but I want to see if I've got any other variant covers here. Strange Academy, Miles Morales #1. It was a fun read. It's not really bringing Miles into Strange Academy. It's more like it's just melding Miles and Strange Academy. So it's fun if you like those. Nothing super special, feels like it's a storyline that'll wrap up in a few issues, and that's all good. Man, I am definitely taking a shower before bed tonight. Just one of those cold showers to rinse all the sweat off of me. I hope that doesn't ooh people out too much. Captain Marvel, Dark Tempest. I don't know how many issues there are in this because it looks like there's a new Captain Marvel run starting after this, but I love the Kelly Thompson Captain Marvel run, and this is by Ann Nocenti. Anybody who is an old fan of Marvel, like Marvel from the 80s, you know the name Ann Nocenti. She was an editor during the 80s, like the Walt Simonson, Chris Claremont era. She's one of those big names up there with Jim Shooter and all them. So always happy. This is pretty cool. Max Rebo. Nice little one shot. These is there Star Wars Max Rebo? I don't know if they're called like Return of the Jedi stories or something, but they're basically just these stories about like Jabba's palace, and things going on in there. And this particular one is these two guys in the band fighting, and Max Rebo just getting like sad about everything. And it really takes place right exactly the time that they're about to feed Luke and Han and all them to the Sarlacc pit, to the pit with the Sarlacc monster in. So it's kind of cool, and it just tells the story from a different point of view. If you're an old Star Wars fan, definitely down with that. Oh, there's the other. Okay, cool. I'm sorry, I'm just organizing. This was the cover. I'm not usually a fan of shiny shinies, but check that out. Check that Dark Droids. Ooh, that looks cool. That might get a spot on the wall back there. That needs a bag and a board. And that makes me happy because I have, oh, wow. Even the back is shiny. That's kind of cool. Because this cover, even though it's a little Wolverine or Hulk 340 homage, it's not a great cover. So I can put that in the back, never have to look at it again unless I take it out. And I could always just look at that. It is a super nice shiny droid. Definitely loving that. Charles Soule is the writer of, he's just the writer of the Star Wars. Oh, he's the writer of Dark Droids. So yeah, that looks, and there was, I think there was either with this or the C-3PO cover, there was a virgin like ratio, but I guess I just grew up with writing on my comics, so I appreciate writing on my comics. I'm not used to not having writing on my comics. So yeah. Remember how I said I like to try out different books just to see? Well, I tried Rebel Girl because I love the song Rebel Girl. Kathleen Hanna, and it wasn't 7-Year Itch, 7-Year Bitch. It was Bikini Riot. But it's not a very good story, not a very well written story. Some cool covers, so that will just go into this for sale box with tons of other books. That's okay, just dropped a bag. Almost done though. By the way, Tony, I appreciate you hanging out. Anybody else who's jumped in and out, I see that my viewership has risen to as high as 3, as low as 2. I feel bad because I had 3 in the first 5 minutes when I tried this earlier this evening before I had to stop and go pick up food from Tacoma Sichuan, which, by the way, if you want some authentic Chinese food, Tacoma Sichuan down on South Tacoma Way is our favorite place. Though my son tells me we shouldn't use the word authentic anymore, just say it's good Chinese food, because authentic brings up this idea of like a dirty place that's not making a lot of money, where like immigrants are working really hard to produce the proper food, and that's not necessarily the image we want to portray. My son's a teenager. All right, what else do we got? This was kind of cool, and I'm still not sure if this is a one shot or if this is continuing, but it's by Duchenne Smile Blood Moon Comics. It's a real sick horror comic, to tell you the truth. It's kind of out there and kind of really good to read, and I kind of really want to read more. This again is something that I would not have known about ahead of time if it wasn't for Comic Hub, and I would not have been able to order it ahead of time, and I just bent the back cover. Oh well. So I gave it a shot, and like I said, happy with it. Really good. Okay, one more bag and board to go. This was the Hellfire Gala, Fall of X. This is the one I said if you didn't read it, you really should. If you're at all a fan of mutants, if you're at all a fan of the X-Men, this story, whew, it basically takes everything that Jonathan Hickman has done in the last 4 or 5 years, and flips it upside down, throws it all in disarray. Krakoa is no longer a safe place for mutants, and a lot of shit's coming down the pike. This whole idea that Xavier had, he basically gave up his ideals to find a safe place for mutant kind, put himself at odds with the rest of the world, even though they were providing, the seeds that were giving good medicine to the rest of the world. It's all fallen flat on his face. I don't know which cover to put. I think I put this cover in front. They're both pretty good, but it's a really, really good read. It's a jarring read, and that follow up with X-Men 25 with Shadowcat on the cover is also really pretty good. So I'm happy for that. And that is the last unbagged and board book that I have laying around here. So it's like 2 weeks worth of new comic book day books that need to be bagged and boarded and now need to be put away. So thank you very much for being here. Thanks for hanging out. And Tony, especially you've been here the whole time. I do appreciate it. I'm going to take off, finish my drink, and get a shower and go to bed. Peace.